panel. To me, one of the critical things is to look past Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a great asset. I'm not going to say anything negative about it, but it is one very specific sort of thesis, one specific use case. And if you're interested in crypto, sort of through the promise of blockchain technology, smart programmable money, then you need to be looking at other investments as well.
Alrighty, everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another CYPRX video banger. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up your seatbelts. This video breakdown is going to be one you are not going to want to miss. It might get a little bit lengthy. We are going to be discussing and talking about how now is not the time for you all to be bearish in the crypto ecosystem. Now, however, is the time for you to pay attention to detail, to really monitor and really figure out who is actually putting out good, valuable information in this digital asset ecosystem and who is just a part of the massive distraction that is ongoing right now in the digital asset ecosystem, which we'll get into in today's video breakdown as well. Then we're going to dive into some fundamental developments surrounding XRP, Ripple, Chainlink, XLR. I'm going to show you guys how they are key players in this ever-evolving ecosystem. And we're also going to be listening to some key insights from some institutional players in this space. Again, today is one of those video breakdowns that you're not going to want to miss. You're going to want to soak up everything that I have to show you in today's research video breakdown. So welcome back. We do appreciate the love and support. If you guys enjoy these deep dives, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. Again, it does help boost the algorithm. It'll push this video breakdown out to more like-minded individuals like yourselves. With that being said, let's get started. So now let's talk about these bullish fundamental developments. Now let's get to the juicy part of today's video breakdown. I'm sorry that whole entire half of today's video breakdown took so long, but you need to understand that. If you've stuck around thus far, smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. This is the realest, some of the realest. I'm not going to say the realest, right? Because I'm sure that other people make valuable content. Some of definitely the realest content on the face of the internet right now. Nobody's talking about this stuff straight to your face and telling you how it really is. Everybody on the internet makes content telling you what you want to hear and not what you need to hear. Here at CYPRX, we focus on what you need to hear, okay? And we will sacrifice views, clicks, and likes to tell you all what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Okay, so check this out. This is from Blockchain Headhunter. They posted this 10 hours ago. I'm too late for Bitcoin. Wrong. You are still early. And again, this is just, keep in mind, Matt Hugan just said, he talked about Bitcoin and he talked about the general market, crypto assets in general, okay? Institutional adoption is just beginning. The majority of the global capital hasn't even entered Bitcoin yet, but the tipping point is coming fast. 2025 could be the last year for early adopters to act before the early majority floods in. I've been an advocate of saying this. Anybody that thinks that once this market surpasses $6 to $10 trillion, that you're going to get the opportunity to sell after institutions come in and buy back in at a discount, back down at $2 to $3 trillion, delusional. Don't follow them. Like, seriously, if you don't understand that once the floodgates really truly open and regulations are soundly in place, you think you're going to get a decent pullback, like operating in the same market environment, the 4-year cycle that we've been operating in for the last, since crypto has been alive, all of that is about to change. Okay. And I've showed you guys institutional insights and perspectives from large investment firms saying the same exact thing. All right. If we come over here, this is the gentleman that goes on to talk about looking past Bitcoin. This is the ex-vice president of fixed income research at Morgan Stanley, saying that it is important that you diversify outside of Bitcoin. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The bullish fundamentals, the things that have been said on stage, have not been priced into the market yet. Take a second and listen.
Sort of thesis today is, how should an allocator think about their allocation to digital assets if this is the first foray into the asset class? How should they think about allocating to directional or long bias strategies versus market neutral ones? Yeah, I mean, I think it came up in the prior panel. To me, one of the critical things is to look past Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a great asset. I'm not going to say anything negative about it, but it is one very specific sort of thesis, one specific use case. And if you're interested in crypto, sort of through the promise of blockchain technology, smart programmable money, then you need to be looking at other investments as well.
I'll pause it right there to save time. Okay, you need to be looking at other investments as well. You need to look past Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin, but I'm also an advocate of diversification, and other large financial institutions are as well. So let me show you guys again some of those bullish fundamentals that have not been priced in yet. March 17th, 2025, Zürcher Kantonalbank expands its crypto offering with Signum Bank. This is huge. This is literally an announcement just from yesterday. In addition to Cardano and Avalanche, Zürcher Kantonalbank crypto offers includes Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Polygon, Litecoin, and Uniswap. Signum's fiat digital asset gateway enables Zürcher Kantonalbank customers to conveniently leverage their fiat balances to buy and trade cryptocurrencies via Zürcher Kantonalbank's e-banking and mobile banking app. That is going to play an important role here in just a second as we dive into the Ripple fundamentals, showing you all that they are a massive infrastructure provider and a foundational layer to this whole entire mass adoption of this digital asset ecosystem, okay? So keep in mind, e-banking and mobile app, these customers are going to have access to cryptocurrencies now through this partnership. The addition of Cardano and Avalanche to our growing cryptocurrency offerings enables our clients to further develop their crypto portfolios, backing what that other gentleman on stage said about diversifying out of Bitcoin conveniently with their principal bank at the time when digital assets are approaching a global inflection point in terms of adoption. Back to this post right here, where we just said, if you think you're late, you're wrong. We are only right here. Early adopters, 13.5%. Early majority looking at 34%, right? And then the late majority at 35%. So I would not want to be a crypto investor here in this area, or the laggards. Oh man, could you imagine investing in crypto 5 years from now and not now? Ugh, that gives me chills because there's going to be people that do such a thing. Anyways, moving on. All right, so check this out. So we see large financial institutions diversifying, enabling access to assets outside of Bitcoin like XRP, AVAX, Litecoin, ETH. You guys get the picture, okay, right? Well, check this out. We are in the midst of a massive wealth transformation, and Ripple is at the forefront of this. Let me show you guys just some physical proof from some documentation that this is ongoing behind the scenes. 2025, the State of FinTech Annual Bank Survey and Collection of Insights. If we come over here, it literally just says at the very beginning why this matters. The great wealth transfer will redefine the financial industry, with trillions of dollars moving from baby boomers to younger generations over the next 2 decades. Financial institutions that fail to capture Gen Z's loyalty risk being left behind. So take into consideration this from a retail perspective and the adoption curve that we're currently in. If you do not adopt these technologies, you risk falling behind, and it is just a fact. You do not want to be a laggard adopter in this space. You want to be an early adopter. Assess your own personal risk properly. I'm not telling you guys to go there and buy digital assets, to each his own, but take into consideration these things. Moving on, we just saw this announcement recently in 2025. Ripple partnered with Chainlink to enhance RLUSD stablecoin with secure data feeds, keeping in mind, right, what this document said about, e-banking and mobile apps, right, and how these individuals of this Zürcher Kantonalbank customers will be able to do and trade cryptocurrencies through this e-banking app, right? Okay, this is all important. Ripple has partnered with Chainlink to provide robust pricing data for its RLUSD stablecoin, according to a January 7th statement. And if we come over here, all right, we have Chainlink Labs on their LinkedIn profile 4 hours ago, all right, putting this info out, saying that there's an $84 trillion intergenerational wealth transfer coming, and the value is moving on chain, right? Okay, keep that in mind. And they posted this little tiny fund tokenization prepares asset managers for the perfect storm document. Okay, so let's go over here and read this fundamental piece. This is going to blow your mind and prove to you guys that Ripple, Chainlink, XLR, they're all part of this infrastructure foundation to allow for all of this to happen. This is from the 17th of March, 2025, so it's all relative. This piece goes on to read, large-scale market changes are set to transform the asset management industry over the next decade, with trillions of dollars worth of assets set to flow into wallets of Gen Z, X, and Y investors, much of which will accumulate on-chain. Asset managers who move first to serve this new market will gain an advantage in capturing this revenue opportunity. It's talking about mobile wallets. It's talking about digital wallets, right? Well, if we come over here, this is a post from the CEO of Thunes, and this was posted just a couple of days ago. This was released to you guys on the 17th of March, and this was posted on his LinkedIn profile 6 days ago. And it says here, mobile wallets will be the clear winner of the rapidly accelerating cash to digital shift in the emerging economies across the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Africa. Those jurisdictions are going to play an important role when I full circle all of this. The digital asset ecosystem, i.e. cryptocurrencies, non-fungible tokens, as well as the infrastructure supporting them. So what is this infrastructure supporting them? If we come over here, in that same exact post, he put out this little tiny diagram. And if we look right here, it says the application layer, consumer and businesses facing applications across commerce and money movement. And it talks about this connection layer, crypto savvy fiat connections. And then right down here, it talks about the crypto native environment. It mentions the network layer and how crypto native networks and infrastructure utilizing blockchain and exchanges for transfers. And then it has the Ripple logo.
Look, Ripple at its core is a blockchain infrastructure company serving enterprises. We started with payments and financial institutions. We've moved into custody, a lot of overlap with those same financial institutions. But we're going to expand with that same thematic of infrastructure, enterprise-based, that served us well.
It also mentions the infrastructure layer, regulated and blockchain agnostic fiat-backed stablecoins, issuers providing tokenized currencies and programmatic payment network features. And then you have Circle and them mentioning that they are a strategic partner with Ripple. So again, showing you guys the network and infrastructure layer, Ripple is a part of that. Keeping in mind, again, to full circle all this, Chainlink Labs posted this fundamental piece talking about how this $84 trillion intergenerational asset transfer over the next 20 years will flow into digital wallets, right? Can you guys see what I'm showing you all right now? And Ripple is a network layer of this digital wallet infrastructure, okay? You cannot make this stuff up. And if we come over here, looking at another closed door meeting that took place that I posted for you guys on March 17th, 2025. This is a closed door meeting involving XLR, Link, Solana, right? If we come right here, you can see this was posted by Interop Labs, connection without custody, XLR multi-chain security. And if we see right here, this is that closed door meeting. You can see who was involved in this: XLR Network, Solana Foundation, Layer Zero, Chainlink Labs, and it was moderated by the Linux Foundation. And they were participating in this interoperability workshop where they discussed and talked about enterprise interoperability. Do you all remember David Schwartz sitting on stage, shout out to Bank XRP for this one, at ETH Denver, talking about two things: how XLR is the native bridge for the EVM sidechain on the XRPL.
Feature set has grown over time to support things like NFTs and automated market makers and better support for tokenized real world assets. The EVM sidechain is new. It's currently still in testing. It's going to go live pretty soon. But they will be two separate chains. There'll be asset portability between them with the XLR bridge.
And how they're specifically focused on enterprise DeFi.
I don't see the XRP ledger evolving into yet another smart contracts platform that has the same advantages and disadvantages and targets the same use cases as everything else. I think the XRP ledger is going to stay focused in the short term on enterprise DeFi.
So now that you've heard David Schwartz mention and talk about that their focus, the XRPL's focus is on enterprise DeFi, let's kind of put it all together, right? Let's think logically. They're not going to go out and tell you that this is happening right in front of your face. You're going to need to make these connections behind the scenes together, right? We have XLR sitting in on a private closed door meeting, right, with Chainlink Labs. We already know, we just heard David Schwartz talk about how XLR is going to be the bridge for the EVM sidechain on the XRPL. And here they are in a closed door meeting from a week ago talking about enterprise interoperability, okay? We also see Brad Garlinghouse sitting on stage at Davos talking about how they are, an infrastructure provider. They're focused on enterprises. And then we have Chainlink putting out this fundamental piece talking about how trillions of dollars of assets are going to flow on chain through digital wallets to Gen X, Y, and Z investors, right? Then we have that fundamental piece. Now let's finish this in full circle, everything. Then we have the fundamental piece from the CEO of Thunes talking about mobile wallets will be a clear winner for rapidly accelerating cash to digital shift in emerging economies, specifically talking about the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Africa. And in this infographic that he posted, you have Ripple here as a network and infrastructure layer in partnership with Circle for all of this. And if we come over here to solidify all of this, we have Rahul Advani posting on his LinkedIn profile at the same exact time all of this other stuff was posted just a week ago. Here you see Rahul Advani had the privilege of joining a roundtable discussion on how we move from pilots to real-world impact and shared some of the work that Ripple is doing in this space. He went on to thank regulators from ASIC, Bank Nigeria, Malaysia, FSCA in South Africa, the Financial Services Agency, Japan, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, all of these jurisdictions that this gentleman mentioned here in this post, the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and Africa, where these mobile wallets will be a clear winner of this rapidly accelerating cash to digital shift in emerging economies. You cannot make this interconnectedness up, ladies and gentlemen. As always, showing you guys these interconnected webs behind the scenes. Now is the time to pay attention to detail, not to be shaken out because of short-term corrections in the digital asset landscape. You've now seen that Ripple, Chainlink, XLR are major industry leaders in this space, sitting in on closed-door meetings, sitting in with regulators, helping build out the infrastructure layer that is going to onboard trillions of dollars into this new digital asset ecosystem. Again, as always, bringing you all the realest information. Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe to the platform if you all enjoyed. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and buy cryptocurrency assets or anything like that nature. I'm just here showing you guys the research that we conduct in the CYPRX private community. As always, be cognizant out there. Please do your own personal research, and I'll see you all in the next video breakdown.